Yeah, so this 5 questions thing that's been going around, it's pretty popular. So I thought I'd chip in. Free content, you know. No, they were actually 5 questions. Everybody knows by now. I'm really late to the party. Let me turn this thing off. I think Alan, our Mamemeister, are also. I don't know. You have a new name, something with an I. I just saw it. I forgot. I'm sorry. Mamemeister, Alan, had some good questions, and I saw some interesting answers. And it's funny how people look at these things differently, and I haven't given them a lot of thought, but it's been sort of spinning around in my head and thinking, what would I think? What would I say? And there's a couple of things that I want to answer. Let's not make this too long. Let's just dive in. Mamemeister's 5 random questions about gaming. The first one being, what's your favorite medium for video games, like CD, cartridge, maybe downloads or digital stuff, or which could be rips from CDs, as far as I'm concerned. Now, that's one that I've been thinking about, and I guess I would define a favorite. I'm going to have to sit up a little higher. Define a favorite by how long it will last. I think that would be important. And if you look at cartridges, they really last the longest. I mean, they've stood the test of time already. I mean, the oldest cartridges that I have, the video pack cartridges, which are the simplest technology, they've survived. If you treat them well, don't put them in a really damp spot, but I've hardly ever had to clean a cartridge or had to throw away one because it didn't work. I mean, I've seen broken ones, but not too many. So it's a very durable, sturdy, physically nice kind of thing to have. I like the Atari 800 kind of style, which they almost look and feel like metal cartridges. I think they're nice. And let's face it, technology as far as cartridges go never evolved very far, which is a good sign because it didn't need to. It was good, we've had chips, added memory, processing, a couple of things. I guess if you can call them cartridges, what goes in the Vita and in the DS and that kind of thing. They store data more easily than the first ones, which didn't at all. And then you had the Game Boy cartridges, which had, an added battery to do that. Cartridges. But most of my collections is DVDs and CDs, which the medium is nice. It's still something that you can hold and you can look at. You can store it nicely. It has nice art on it. Come to think about it, cartridges. I don't have many boxes or anything. It's just the cartridge itself. But the CDs and DVDs, they come with the boxes. It's a more complete way to collect and keep the games that you were fond of. But the thing is, in the time that I've been collecting and gaming, I've seen drives breaking down. And that's sort of a worrying thing. And that led me to think that, some of the Wii games that I have, I've ripped them to a hard disk so I can play them on my Wii. But then I've seen hard disks break down. So I don't know. And that makes that a very good question. What's your favorite? if it's durability, then I'd have to say cartridges, but I don't have that many. So my favorite would have to be DVDs and CDs. Don't ask me why, though. I'll tell you when I'm 95 and I've put in my last game. Then I'll tell you, the medium that's there. That'll be it. Because another medium is PCBs. How about PCBs? I have 30-year-old PCBs that still work. Sure, you need a soldering iron sometimes, and not ideal, but if you treat them well, they can last forever. And PCBs, what can beat a PCB? They're clumsy, and you can't store them, but they're cool. Doesn't coolness count as favorite? Coolness counts. The coolest medium. I'm going with PCB. Alan, PCB. And I'll bet you I'm the only one. Right. How much online gaming do you do? Well, almost all of it. Almost all of it is online. I have my own, I've not rented. I have to say because Giles has rented, and Evo Halo, we've rented a server online, and we play Minecraft on it, and Arma 3, and I've run my own server personally on my PC for Empyrean, that's it. I play Elite Dangerous. Yes, still play Elite Dangerous. I'm about to when I'm done making this video. So almost all of it. And then of course, I have my Commodore here, and I have my PS3 here, my PS2, and I use those, and my 360 over there. But a lot of gaming. But I kind of sense that you're looking for online gaming as in massively multiplayer online gaming. Well, Elite Dangerous technically is that, but it's not the same. So that's not the kind of online gaming I do. But I do a lot of online gaming with friends. Like simulating the LAN party that we used to have. That's online gaming to me too, and that's what I do. I love that. Have I ever written a game? Yes, I have. I have programmed for as long as I have been in contact with the Commodore 64, and that was, I think, when I was 8 or 10 or something. I programmed in BASIC. I programmed games, starting with the simple Snake game. There's a simple Snake game that I could program in BASIC that had joystick controls, and it would be, a text-based game, and you had to snake your snake around stars, which was actually a fun game, and it was only like 10 lines of code, and I could do it off the top of my head. I could just type it in, and I'd have a game. I'd even have sound in it. So, but after that, I programmed some games in assembly on the Commodore 64. Simple games. I had like a diving game. You were a diver, and there were sharks that were coming at you randomly. And when you died, you turned into bubbles and floated up. And I had like a racehorse game, and I had like a jumping, sort of a platforming. It was all basically exercises to do sprites and animation and that kind of thing. But there were games. I wrote a balloon game. I wrote a full balloon game. I think 3 screens where you had you had to steer a balloon through a cave, and if you touched anything, you died. There's a well-known balloon game on the Commodore 64, which was I was trying to emulate. So yeah, I've written games, and I'm in the process actually of not writing a game, but code analyzing a proper game which was written recently, in the recent history, 2012, called Supernatural. I'm doing a video series on that, and I intend to learn exactly, because that is a good game. That is what I would call a proper good game. And that's what I've always wanted to know. How do you write that? What goes into that? I'm pretty sure that I know all the techniques, but I've never gotten to the point where I said, I've written this proper real game with everything on it. But I'm in the process of doing that right now, or learning how that goes. It's fun. I want to do that because it's fun. It's going to take a long time, and I don't care. Do I ever think about giving up YouTube, and why? Or would I ever, get to the point where I thought, I've sod it. I'm gonna stop making videos. Yeah, it doesn't feel the same as it did in the beginning. I still like sitting down and making videos. I like putting the effort in, getting the sound right, getting the picture right, making a nice product, building skills just for the heck of it. And this, it's videos like these, pickup videos. I don't have any pickups anymore, so I don't do those. But if I have something to share, some kind of knowledge, as long as I think that I have an audience, that is when that is, with these videos, sitting in front of it and doing it. As long as I have an audience, I do that. The other thing, the game development one, I do that even if no one was watching. I wouldn't care. So I don't foresee a moment in time, except when YouTube stops, or the entire community dissolves, or whatever. But I'm sort of in it for the long stretch. I want to look back in 6 years and say, this is something I've done. We shouldn't forget that making these videos is really something. It's not nothing. It may seem like nothing, but if you look back and you look at your videos and see, man, I've made almost 300 videos, and that's really something. That's something that your kids are gonna see in the future. They're gonna look back and say, hey, that's my mom or that's my dad who did that. You're making history and you're recording it, and I think that's important. So even though you think sometimes, this is not worth anything, I think it really is, and I want to keep doing that. So I don't really see myself stopping anytime soon. But I have the facilities now, and if anything could happen, I could get sick or whatever could happen. But even the sick make videos, as we've seen in some people. I'm talking about Dean. Dean had a really bad time of it, and still going through a lot of pain as I get. So Dean, go dude, you'll make it. But he's still making videos, so even in that, you can still do it. How many hours of a week do I devote to gaming? I don't plan to game, but I do quite a lot, actually. What happens is, when I get home from work, we do all the cooking and the dinner and the eating, and then we watch a bit of telly, and I bring my daughter to bed, and I read to her, and then sit down with my wife, and we have a little chat, or we drink a cup of coffee, or watch TV and whatever, and then I'll game, usually, sometimes. So that's like, an hour or two, not every day. So it's 6 hours, and then in the weekend maybe longer. If it's 8 hours a week, that's a lot. It's sometimes it's 2 or even none. And with gaming, I messing around with the computer, doing the code thing, that's sort of part of the gaming chapter for me as well. So even if I, well, not that I do that a lot, but if I do art or whatever, that's, if it's gaming related, I'll call it gaming. But 6 hours maybe. On average, 4 to 6. I don't know. I don't keep track. Anyway, that's Alan's 5 questions. Nice questions, Alan. I like that. And I've ordered some stuff. I'm gonna have pickups. Oh, I ordered a game. I got a game this afternoon, and I could have shown it, but I'll keep that for my next pickup one. You know, I've ordered something online, and I got something that I picked up this afternoon. Nothing special. And I'm thinking of picking up some more Blade Runner stuff. I was watching Daz Cojones de Loro's video, and I think he got some cool stuff. The soundtrack. Why didn't I think of getting the soundtrack? I may actually. I'll have a listen to it. It's Vangelis. I can't think of, you know, the music to Blade Runner is like really in the background. It doesn't. Of course, without the music, the movie would be nothing. But the music is really meaningful. But I couldn't sort of sing or think of what it sounds like, except the atmosphere. So I may actually get that. But I didn't yet, so that's not worth a pickup video. But I'll be back soon. Next video is probably going to be another coding video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see each other in the next video. Don't forget, I'm going to Blackpool. I am going to Blackpool. So if you're going, I'm hoping to meet you there. If you're if you're not going, then I'll not meet you there. But you know that makes sense, doesn't it?